Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, you may not have heard of Godwin's law, but it's an idea that was coined by an American in the early days of the internet. It says that if an online discussion goes on long enough, it will always end with someone comparing someone or something to Hitler or Nazism. But these days, this doesn't seem to be confined to the internet. No, yesterday, after Theresa May appeared to rule out the idea of introducing an Australian-style points system, the former Liberal Democrat leader Paddy Ashdown sent a tweet which read, "The Tory Brexit brown shirts are stirring." The brown shirts being a name used to describe the paramilitary wing of the Nazi Party. During the referendum campaign, Boris Johnson, not exactly a stranger to controversy, said that the EU had the same aim as Hitler in trying to create a political superstate. His colleague, Michael Gove, said we have to be careful about historical comparisons before roundly ignoring his own advice and comparing economic experts supporting Remain to Nazi propagandists. And the former London Mayor, Ken Livingstone, was at the centre of a media scrum and was suspended from the Labour Party after arguing repeatedly that Hitler supported Zionism. Well, we're joined now by a journalist who is well known for shying away from controversy. It's James Delingpole from the Breitbart website, and he's nodding away. Welcome back to the programme. Was Boris Johnson correct to compare the European Union's aims to that of Nazi Germany during the referendum campaign?
I can see why people are tempted to make Nazi references, because it's about the only bit of history that people know these days. I mean, when I was at school, I used to learn about the Middle Ages, but now all you get taught is about the rise of the Nazis and a warning from history. But I would defend the use of Nazi analogies under certain circumstances. I mean, Paddy Ashdown comparing the 17.5 million people who voted Brexit to brown shirts who were the precursor of the SS. I don't think that quite works.
Right.
You know, that was democratic will, that's okay. But yeah, there are occasions, I think, when the Nazi analogy is used, particularly by the left, I think, to slag off people they don't like. You know, anyone mildly to the right of centre, they call Nazis.
The English language is a beautiful thing. We've got so many more words we could use to describe things, so many more analogies we could strike. But I think there is an interesting comparison to be made with 1930s Germany, with the current situation we're in. You know, we encourage our children to study history for a very, very good reason, to learn the lessons of the past. And I do hear people coming to me, and I'm careful about saying it because it's inflammatory, but I think there are parallels with the age of insecurity that we're experiencing at the moment. People do feel unsure. The far right does have an ascendancy in times such as these. We've seen the Versailles Treaty in Nazi Germany in the 1930s. We've seen the EU referendum today, and we've seen a startling rise in hate crime, which is very, very alarming. You know, this is very real in many, many communities.
In the end, everybody will justify how they've used their Nazi claim or analogy, but actually, isn't it just crass and lazy?
No, I didn't agree at all with Jonathan on the detail, but I think on the broader issue of whether we should use Nazi analogies, I think actually the interesting thing about Nazi Germany is that it happened in a country which invented Beethoven and Schubert. These were civilised people, yet over a period of 5 years they were effectively taken hostage by this party which was originally a joke. So there are lessons from history that we need to be mindful of.
Do you worry that history might be repeating itself, James?
Well, I do, in terms of particularly the left's war on freedom of speech. Yeah, the liberal left's war on freedom of speech.
Are you saying that the left, are you saying that, I mean, I think you have used the term about Green Party or some Green Party being eco-Nazis.
Yeah.
I mean, how are they eco-Nazis when Nazis were about sort of dehumanising people, destroying the Jews, taking over Europe?
The Hitler era is rich in green analogies because Hitler's Germany was the kind of paradigm of green values. Himmler wanted to feed the SS on organic food only until someone explained to him that organic food can't be produced on a mass scale. For example, Goering wanted to put people who abused animals into concentration camps. So they were quite green.
I'm not quite sure whether to laugh or just to say that's incredibly offensive, but I know that I am passionate about opposing fascism in this country, and I'm probably one of the strongest opponents of UKIP, and I would label UKIP in that kind of fascist bracket, unequivocally. I don't think it's helpful, though, to descend into this name-calling of Nazis. Let's look at what people are actually standing for. Let's look at the values. Let's look at what the policies are of UKIP and the way they want to clamp down on immigration. Let's look at the impact that that's had on the divisions in our local communities. This is something that we do need to speak up about and talk rationally and sensibly about, but oppose very vigorously.
Was Paddy Ashdown right to call Tory Brexiteers, or they were stirring like the brown shirts?
I don't think it's particularly helpful to the debate, but I do see what he's trying to say.
And also, I mean, just briefly, was Michael Gove really right to say that those economic experts supporting Remain were Nazi propagandists, when Nazi propagandists were all about...
Joe, he was making a very intelligent point. He was talking about the paper that Hitler commissioned called 100 Authors Against Einstein. That was a specific historical analogy.
And thank you for finishing so briefly there.